Channel. Ooh wee. Ooh wee. Nick is upset. Nick is spazzing out on Candace and them. Nick don't like Candace. He was not happy with the results of the debate with Andrew Wilson. So we're gonna take a look at a few clips here. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe. Let me check my volume real quick, and we'll go. All right, my bad. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. All right, we're gonna get straight into it because I got another stream I'm gonna do here later, I should say, on some other stuff. But here we go. We're gonna get straight to it, guys. So this is now I got some clips from X. I don't have them all in the right order or whatever. So we'll just pick through and analyze some of the things that Nick Fuentes is saying about his problem with Candace Owens and the likes. He even finds a way to throw Tucker Carlson into the Candace Owens mix, which it baffles me because Candace Owens and Tucker Carlson, I don't view them in the same camp at all. At all. But here we go.
I don't even like the guy. I don't even like the guy. I'm not even saying this for his benefit. His wife, and not to white knight, but it's just true. If you believe Tyler Robinson did it, then what have people done to Erica Kirk? I get it. Yeah, she's a little weird. Yeah, the pageant thing, very bizarre. I'll be the first to say, okay, but her husband was publicly executed. If you believe Tyler Robinson did it, what the fuck have people done to this person? You watch your husband get publicly executed. You got to worry about his legacy, organization, the kids. Yeah, some of the stuff she said is really weird. No one's denying that. But people are saying she murdered her husband and she's a pedophile. Goodness gracious, it was his wife. His organization's been torn asunder. Again, I don't even like them. Don't even like them. Organization's been discredited. And the people that murdered him and celebrated, they're on a hot streak. They're winning. It's the Zohran Mamdanis, it's the Chevaliers, it's the Al Sayeds in Michigan. Those people are toasting and clinking glasses. Thank God for Candace Owens, they say. They say, thank Allah. They say, thank God for Candace Owens.
What does Candace Owens have to do with these guys winning these elections? Nick Fuentes. Candace Owens, I never heard her advocate for open borders and flooding cities with Muslims and Somalians and whatever else is coming here, Indians. I never seen her advocate for that, for just open borders like that. So I don't know how you equating what Candace is doing to that. Right now, you're coming across as butthurt about something else. You're just lashing out. You're lashing out, and there's something deeper behind it. And like for the record, guys, I like Nick Fuentes. I do not dislike Nick Fuentes. I actually like Nick Fuentes. You know, he's my favorite white supremacist. But I think he's reaching real hard here.
For destroying the right, letting us live to fight and kill conservatives another day so we can continue the destruction of everything these people hold dear. That's just the truth. You don't have to like it, but that's a fact. People can say, you know, well, you sound like controlled opposition. It is a fact that the people that hated Charlie Kirk to death are happy that Candace Owens is doing this. And they're happy that Tucker's doing it too. And they love Tucker's little left-right fusionist program. Fuck that. Fuck.
I don't understand how Candace and Tucker are related in this. It's two different, it's not the same world, bro. It's not the same world. I'm going to wait because I got a comment to make about something that I heard him say. I'm going to let it play through and see if he says it, and then I'll address what he says. But it's ironic. All this shit is ironic if you ask me.
Fuck your unity ticket, your left-right, America First United. This is not America First United. We're not here to unite. We're here to bring a sword. Let the dead bury their dead. That's what we're about over here. So I will not be allying with Hassan Piker. I'll not be allying with any of these scumbags. Absolutely not. People need to have a little bit more. Ironically, why we're losing is because we're not willing to fight and die.
But you did an interview with Hunter Biden. You did an interview with Hunter Biden and said he was a nice guy. That's Hunter Biden's whole purpose in life, is to be the nice guy so that he can screw you over. So what's the difference between Hunter Biden and Hassan Piker? What's the difference? What's the material difference between those two men? Tell me.
They are. Muslims are willing to fight and die. They'll never really ally with us because they really believe. The left is willing to fight and die. They'll never really ally with us because they really believe what we believe or what they believe. The right, we barely believe what we believe. We're looking to make compromises and, hey, man, it's all good. Hey, we just want to come together and we need to unite and, you know, all this nonsense. We need to be willing to fight and die for our people. Christendom, Europe, Greece, Rome, America. That's what we're supposed to be fighting.
Here's the irony, ladies and gentlemen. He's talking about Greece and Rome. That was Jewish, bro. Hit that like button when you're coming in. That was Jewish, though, bro. The Greeks and the Romans were able to get their power through Edom. You don't understand real history. You understand the lie, Nick Fuentes. And that's something you're going to have to overcome one of these days, is the lie. We've all been lied to. That's the fantastic thing about this, that we all been lied to. We've all been lied to. Whether you classify it as black or white in this society, you've been lied to. So you're bigging up the Romans. They're gone. They're dead. The Greeks, they're dead. You're talking about Europe, but this is America. Fuck Europe, bro. What are you talking about? What are you talking about right now? And it's funny that the Greeks and Romans, who he loved so much, allied with Edom, do your research on it, to take down the real Jews. And that's the same thing that's happening in America today. That's why the Jewish people are here today. That's why they're here today, to help with the whole situation. So it's ironic that you're actually giving props to the same people that you say that are your enemies.
And dying for. And we should be exclusionary and we should be drawing a dividing line between all these other people. So that's that. And the Jews are in the mix as well. The Jews are willing to fight and die for what they believe too, separately. The Zionists who will fight and die against Iran, and they'll have Americans fight and die in their behalf.
The Greeks were Zionists, bro. That's the irony. The Romans were Zionists. Who do you think Herod was? You call yourself a Catholic. Do the Catholics even read the Bible and have an understanding of history? The Romans appointed Herod, a Jewish guy. Herod was Jewish, to be over Judea. The Romans were Zionists, bro. It's ironic, man. This whole thing is so ironic, man. I'm telling y'all, it's funny, but I don't blame Nick. Like I said, I like Nick. But it's just weird to see him try to operate this matrix and still try to hold on to the lies. You got to let all of it go, bro. We all do. We got to let all the lies go. You can't hold on to this lie and think you're still going to be held up. No, bro. You're going to make yourself sound stupid.
Where's our soul? And fundamentally, you know what it is? Fundamentally, Candace Owens, she's not a part of that because she's this race mixer. That's a big part of it too. You wonder why a sassy black woman who sued her ex-boyfriend or whatever because he got a white girlfriend. Remember Candace Owens with her white boyfriend suing people for racism? I wonder why Candace Owens...
This motherfucker hurt, y'all. Is Nick hurt? He's talking about she married him. She's a rape victim, and he's going back to some shit that happened in high school. Bro, you sound like Ben Shapiro talking about you right now. You sound like them. This dude is hurt, bro. Nick, not you, bro. I like you, Nick. Come home, Nick.
is not really down for the mission like the rest of us. I wonder if that has something to do with the fact...
You said, wait, how was Herod Jewish if you don't think Jewish is in the book? Well, I'm using that as a modern term. Jewish as in he was considered a half Jew. They were the Jewish. Jewish meaning Edom. Edomites. They're Jacob's brother. They're Jacob's brother. Jewish people are Edom, Jacob's brother. That's one of the mysteries, guys. That's one of the weird aspects that we're living in these times that people really don't understand yet, but they will. And I understand Nick's frustration, right? I'm gonna tell you the truth. I understand his frustration because I look at the playing field right now and I see the people that they got playing in the game right now, and I'm thinking to myself, what are they talking about? Why are they running that play? Why didn't he shoot it there? But they don't have the skills. They're just not good enough. And that's on purpose. The reason this particular system started hyping up all these weirdo voices to, yes, Edom is Esau. The same way Jacob's name changed to Israel, Esau's name changed to Edom. It's in Genesis 25th chapter. But listen, I understand Nick's frustration because you would think that after all this time that we would see some movement or some change going on in society. But what Nick doesn't understand is that the right people are not in the game right now, bro. The right people are not in the game right now. You got Ben Shapiro and people like that calling Megyn Kelly an anti-Semite. Stop playing with me. Tucker Carlson is the advocate now. He's the renegade. This is all controlled. Dan Bazarian has a microphone. They even let Myron Gaines talk shit, a Somali. This mother's from Somalia somewhere. He come over here and get on the microphone and start talking at colleges. That's on purpose. They want the backups in the game right now.
Fact that she doesn't believe in racial identity. I wonder if it has to do with the fact that she's in the out group, so she doesn't get it. Maybe that's why she loves having Muslims on the show. She loves having the unity ticket, why she's not really that right.
At Recon. Yeah, good point. Judaism is not, Moses didn't bring Judaism. Moses didn't come down from the mountain with Judaism. Judaism is the Edomite religion. Moses brought law. He brought a culture. He came down with a culture and a way of life, lessons. Edom comes in and tries to find any way, like you said, a debate culture. I think is that how you worded it? A debate society. That's actually a very good term. I'm gonna have to use that. I like that. That's what the Talmud is. They're trying to find anything in there to try to defile the word, the written word. That's why they make excuses in the Talmud for being able to lay with a 3-year-old because it didn't say this and it didn't say that. What is a girl actually? What is a woman? You see what I'm saying? And if you watch the rabbis debate, you watch these people debate, they always want to say, well, what is a woman? What is pedophilia? You heard Dennis Prager say that it's okay to watch child porn if it's animated. So you are right about that. Let's keep watching Nick though.
Right wing, maybe that has something to do with it. Who knows? But anyway, so that's my perspective. That's like the third position. I'm not a turning point. You know I'm not a fucking turning point person. I'm not a conspiratard, third worldist. I'm the third way. I'm the third position. I'm the third position. I kind of like this. I was looking into like hand signals. I like the.
Okay, we're gonna watch another one here. Nick Fuentes says he's not a conspiratard or whatever he just said. Right, and that kind of goes back to what I'm saying. One of his flaws is right now is that he wants the lie to be there. This Roman Greco America was founded with George Washington, a Mason, by the way. Like, come on, guys, y'all don't see this is basic stuff. I'm not even trying to get too deep on it. But George Washington was a Mason. What do y'all think God was dealing with this place? This place was satanic from the word go. It was satanic from the word go. But he wants to keep that intact and change something, but he can't. It doesn't work like that. It all got to get wiped. It all got to get wiped. I did cybersecurity for years. If a computer has a virus, you got to wipe the whole thing clean and reinstall another program on there, bro. Another operating system. Okay? Ain't no just delete this program here and keep it. No, it all got to go. Re-image. Let's check out another video real quick. Make sure you hit that like button when you're coming in. Keep them chats coming. All right, so that was that. Let me see.
And so above all else, to me, watching this and seeing the way that both sides have reacted, it makes me very pessimistic about the future because clearly something has gone terribly wrong, which is that.
Now, I will say this, Moses. I like Nick. I'm giving Nick a pass. I'm kind of going in on him a little bit tonight. I feel his pain. He's in pain. Nick is in pain right now. Okay. And he's lashing out. He's like, fuck all of y'all. That's basically what Nick is doing right now. He's fuck all of y'all. Fuck all of y'all. Okay. Because he sees the quote unquote movement losing steam. He's seeing the players on the field and he's like, what the fuck happened? How is Dan Bazarian talking? How is Jake Shields the face of this shit? How did we get here? Okay. But one thing I do like Nick, he never condemned Ye. That's my line right now. If y'all haven't noticed about this channel, if you condemn Ye, you're on the side of the devil. That's just what it is right now. Candace has not condemned Ye. So we all can repent. We all can learn. So I'm still gonna rock with Nick as far as, I don't dislike Nick. I like Nick, but he's just going through some growing pains right now. He's in pain. He's hurting, bro.
We thought at one point that red pilling everybody was the answer, that we needed to get the word out about the Jews or about Israel or about these conspiracy theories. We needed to breach the censorship, reach the masses, share with them the message, persuade them to get on our side, and then there'd be this groundswell of support for some kind of populist movement. That was like the idea, but something has gone terribly wrong. And whereas at one point, the people that believed in these alternative hypotheses about the way our world is and how it came to be, those people used to be typically very intelligent or dedicated to the truth as a hobbyist, rigorous in their process. Now, in its place, we have a lot of people that I can't tell whether they're stupid or whether they're in the grips of some kind of mass psychosis or delusion. But it's become something very different than what it used to be. There was a time,
He's right. Now, I will agree with him with that. He doesn't understand why, it seems like. That was part of the game plan. This was playing like A for these guys. If it ever gets too hot, we're going to let some of them, the lower of them, get a platform. We'll let a guy like Dan Bazarian run his mouth. We'll let Megyn Kelly be called an anti-Semite. What we're going to do, we're going to get ahead of this early. So what we're going to do is cut Tucker Carlson from Fox News, right? To give him the appearance of looking like an outcast. Tucker Carlson left Fox News after he did the interview with Ye. They made up some reason about the Dominion voting scandal or something. And then remember, he came back on this first episode like he was ready to take on the establishment. That was the whole point. That was the whole point. That's the reason they let Tucker Carlson sit across from a Ted Cruz and appear to grill him. And they both sound stupid, actually. That's why he's able to sit next to Mike Huckabee and grill him. And they both sound stupid. This James Fishback guy that everybody's looking, James Fishback, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. And see, if I tell y'all what it is, y'all will think I'm coming across as being arrogant, and I'm not. I'm going to tell you this one thing that this system is afraid of more than any white person, anybody classified as white. It's black, it's people classified as black when they get to talking. It's a problem. It's a problem. Now, Candace Owens is she will expose some information about Jewish control. I don't like to use the word control, Jewish influence and some of the Jewish deviants that have been recognized in society, but she don't go all the way in. But even what she does is way, way, way more dangerous to this system than what Dan Blazerian, Fishback, Megyn Kelly, Tucker Carlson, Nick Fuentes even. It's something different. When Ye tweeted something, that reaction was bigger than anything they could have ever expected. When Kyrie Irving simply put out a tweet of a movie he had watched that was on Amazon, that's scary to them. That's scary to them. So they'd rather let the quote unquote white people and immigrants like Chink Uyghur, some guy from damn Turkey somewhere, run his mouth. They'd rather let a Myron Gaines Somalian anchor baby first generation run his mouth about the values of America than to let a dude like me on TV. You better believe that. Shut Ye down. Shut Kyrie up. Shut Nick Cannon up. Give him Myron Gaines. Give him Fishback. Give him Dan Bazarian. That's why I like when Ye was wearing all that Nazi stuff. Because, see, Ye's smart. You can't paint a black guy as a Nazi. That shit don't stick like that, bro. It don't even sound right. He's a Nazi. What? I'm black. It don't stick. So it's more of a danger to them. Nick comes out and talks. They call him a Nazi. Everybody goes, oh, Nazi Hitler, because he's white, right? It's a different level when quote unquote black people get into the game. And y'all going to see. Y'all going to see. Once quote unquote black people, the Jews, start exposing things and moving in a different way, you watch the impact it makes. And that's what Nick is seeing right now. That's what a lot of white people are noticing right now, that y'all are not able to move the waters like that. And I'm not knocking y'all. I'm just telling you what it is. Y'all not able to move the waters like that. There's a reason they waited for Obama to get into office before they passed the federal gay marriage thing. They needed that black energy behind it. They couldn't do that with Bush or Clinton in office. The Jewish people know how to use black people because they know who we are and they know who white people are. And Nick right now is just going through some growing pains, y'all. That's all. But like Ye said, we got to be easy on everybody right now.
15, 20 years ago, when all the people that believed in race realism or Holocaust revision or the 9/11 conspiracy or the JFK conspiracy, these were people that were dedicated to finding the truth, whatever the truth was, and they looked at the actual evidence. They looked at the doc.
And here, that's a good point, Moses. See, you got to understand, guys, and this is, I used to think I was Django, but I'm Steven, actually. I used to think I was Django, but I'm Steven. I don't want them in my house. When are they leaving? Who do you think is going to have a better vantage point of the mess going on right now in America, in the world? The people that were born and classified as white and told that this was their country and that George Washington was the greatest American that ever lived and it wasn't for white people, it wouldn't Superman and all that? Or do you think it would be the person that was classified as black, who was told he was a slave and has no history? I was born suspicious. I came out of my mama's womb looking around like, what the fuck going on around here? How you saying that y'all don't know who I am? I've been suspicious. We've been suspicious, y'all. So who you think gonna be able to see it better? That's why Steven, if you watch Django Unchained, Steven knew them was wasn't there to buy no dang on Mandingo. He knew. And I'm here to tell white America, they ain't here to buy no Mandingo. They here for the girl. Let me get an amen on that.
Documents with intellectual rigor, meaning they had a high intellectual standard, meaning that they thoroughly and intensively looked at all of the evidence, left no stone unturned. They talked to the experts. They went into those fields of study. And these were people that for one reason or another, whether it was a cause that was near and dear to their heart, or they were these autistic types that simply were hobbyists and were interested in this stuff, there was a time when conspiracy theorists, they were actually the gold standard of information. And I remember this because that's the era when I grew up. It was the government. It was the legacy media that was concealing things. It was the legacy media that was not smart. The people that wrote for the New York Times were dumb and they didn't care about the truth and they weren't doing their due diligence and there were things they would not consider, or they were pushing a particular agenda and would omit things as a result. And now that has flipped. Now,
I'm not going to be getting into that whole thing about Nick's quote unquote health concerns, whatever that. I'm real talk, and I'm not trying to knock you or nothing like that, but I'm just not getting into that kind of stuff, bro. I believe in God. I'm just not. We all deal with things. So if he's dealing with that, I wish him well. If he's not, I wish him well. But I'm not really here dealing with that. And like Moses said, man, I was born suspicious, baby. I came out of my mama's womb looking at this place crazy.
There is this great inversion. And so there was a time when the legacy media had no credibility and the citizen journalism was the gold standard. Even though in the citizen journalism, you had to sift through it. You had to still have discernment, but the truth.
Now, there's just some rumor going on about Nick and his health, which who knows where that came from. I have no idea. So it is what it is. All right, let's check out another clip here. I want to go where he really goes in on Candace, man. He go, oh yeah, this is the one right here. They mad at Candace. Why they mad at Candace, y'all? What Candace do? Candace, see, the funny thing about it is Candace been Candace, yo. The same way Candace questioning in this Charlie Kirk shit is the same way she was on their neck about how George Floyd died. And I find it ironic that quote unquote white people will make jokes about George Floyd's death, which I do believe that was some kind of weird setup in that the fentanyl probably got him more than likely. The cop's knee wasn't on his neck like that. I fall on that side of the camp. But now when the rabbit got the gun aimed at one of yours, it's time for this bitch to shut up all of a sudden. Now it's time for this bitch to shut up. Why? That's what she do. You know what I'm saying? So let's see Nick. He goes off on her here. He is pissed. I think this is it right here. Let's check this one out, man. Nick is ticked.
And I think that most of the clips that you're seeing on social media, it's really more about who was the snarkiest and who was the most smarmy. I see one of the quotes that went viral from the debate is when Candace Owens said, "I can explain it to you, but I can't understand it for you." And this is just a statement without any substance. It actually doesn't mean anything. And when you hear something like this, you realize that what Candace Owens is, at the core, in her heart of hearts, is she is the right-wing version of Ketanji Brown Jackson. That's literally what she is. That is the most accurate analog. She is the right-wing equivalent of Ketanji Brown Jackson.
Really, Nick? Bro, that's so tragic, bro. That was a tragic analogy. Tragic analogy. See, the thing about Candace is she's not being fake. She's not a Kamala or a Ketanji Brown Jackson weirdo. Are you kidding me, Nick? Come on, Nick. I see the difference between you, Nick, and Tucker. You can't see the difference between a woman like Candace and Kamala Harris, an Indian, by the way, who's not even black like that. You can't tell the difference between them two, man. All you just see is this black woman. Come on, Nick. That was a horrible, horrible comparison. And by the way Nick is talking, it sounds like he's more, I don't know if he's upset that she made a white man look crazy like this, or if he's upset that he don't feel like the discussion should even be on this, that we should be focused on other things. I'm not sure what he's lashing out at, but he is ticked.
In the same way that Ketanji Brown Jackson.
I do remember that song about buying a Coke. You're right. It got worse over the years. You're right, bro. There was always this. You're right. The white and black thing wasn't as bad as it was. I grew up in the 70s as well. I was born in the 70s, late 70s. And it wasn't crazy like it is now. They've purposely driven that wedge deeper and deeper and deeper into us. And it started with the civil rights movement.
is underqualified, ignorant, barely literate, in the same way that she's injecting into the record of the Supreme Court.
See, I don't like when white people say black people are barely literate. We just the slaves, so why do we got to be literate for if we just slaves? Why you care how we talk? You know what I'm saying? I don't like that. See, and this is the hypocrisy of this world. Okay? I got to put this out there. Bro, you can't say we were slaves and then don't ever tell us where we come from, what our original language was, what land we are, who we are as a people, and then get pissed off that we don't speak your language the right way. What the fuck is you talking about, bro? The narrative has never identified black people. Think about that. I said this so many times on stream, and I'm not complaining, guys. This is just me, like I said. I'm Steven. I'm looking around the house and I'm seeing what's out of place. This narrative has never proclaimed who these niggas is. So you can't complain about us being illiterate if we don't even know who we are. That's just a hypocrisy, bro. Chill with that. That's a low shot, bro. You better than that, Nick. That's some Piers Morgan shit you pulling right now, bro.
All this snark and sass. You understood the assignment. This sort of thing. It's exactly the same on the side of Candace Owens. She's a total ignoramus. She is a typical sassy, ignorant, uppity black woman that a large crowd on the right wing of mostly women.
I'm sorry, I got to stop it. Nick going in on her. Now, I have called Candace. I'll be fair. I say she was dumb one time, too, on one of my streams. She pissed me off. She was talking about some shit. I ain't like how she was handling the whole Jewish conversation. I felt like she was trying to play the middle a little bit in certain situations. I ain't like that. Okay. But come on, Nick. Candace ain't like them, bro. Candace is the queen bee right now. It's just what it is, bro. It's just what it is, bro. Sassy black woman. Nick hot, y'all. Do y'all feel like Nick? Let me know.
But also some of these like wife guy types are enamored with. That's really what she is. That's what she does for the right. And so it's not much different than, for example, when Kamala Harris says during the debate, "Excuse me, I'm speaking. A black woman is speaking." And progressives eat that up. It's identical. In the same way that Kamala Harris goes in the debate and says, "I'm speaking." And all these progressives go, "Oh my gosh, she ate him up. She ate," who was it at that time? Mike Pence. "She ate him up. Oh my gosh, she ate and left no crumb."
Come on, bro. It's not the same, man. They can't stand Candace. Candace is... You can't compare Candace to that because Candace sat across from Don Lemon and told him to his face that his idea of being married to a man was a sin. She tells the truth. I don't think Candace comes into any situation trying to manipulate and lie. That's not to say she doesn't get things wrong. Hell, we all do. But I don't see Candace as someone that's coming in to purposefully deceive you like a Kamala Harris. Totally horrible analogy, bro. You just mad right now for something. Don't be jealous of her, bro. And yes, Ye did say that. I like the way Candace Owens thinks. Ever since then, it's been up for Candace.
How is that any different than when Candace Owens says to Andrew Wilson, "Sweetie, honey, I can explain it to you, but I can't understand it for you." And Ian Carroll and all the other shitheads go, "Oh my gosh, Queen, go off." I mean, it's the exact same thing. How do people not see this? How do people not see that she's another one of these black women, these iconic black women, that it's exclusively women on the right wing that adore her? And like I said, a small subset of men like Ian Carroll, guys that were like Bernie bros, these like Burning Man hippie types. They still got a little bit of that in them from before, from back when they were progressives.
Okay, let's line it up then. What other woman in this space compares to a Candace Owens? What's the alternative, Nick? She got fired from Daily Wire, bro, for keeping it 100. She got fired and ran out of Daily Wire for keeping it real. These Jewish people can't stand Candace. I go to the Jewish platforms. I read the comments when they do Candace reactions. They hate Candace. They hate Candace, bro. They hate her. They don't hate Kamala, though.
It's the same thing. And that is really the only point.
Exactly. Mark Lamont Hill, she roasted him. And then she roasted that other dude. Who was that? Ray J tried to bring in some. No, who was that? Who was that brought in the transgender person to try to talk to Candace? Was it Nick Cannon? Nick Cannon tripping. They humiliated Nick Cannon. After he said that blacks were the Hebrews, man, they humiliated that dude, bro.
Portion of the debate, I think that anybody really remembers. It's not too much of the substance. It's just that sort of thing. When Andrew Wilson says, I have the text messages, but I'm not going to release them. I'm going to drip them. Isn't that what you do? I can explain it to you, but I can't understand it for you. This is the level that we've sunk to.
That was a bar, Nick. You hating, bro. That was such a bar. Yeah, it was Ray J. That was a bar, Nick. When she said that was a bar, bro. Come on, man. You don't appreciate the bars? I thought you said you like Ye's music. If you like Ye's music, you got to appreciate the bars, bro. That was a bar when she said that. All right, here's the last one. Here's Nick and his unforgiving spirit. No. Let's get on this one. He calls her let me see. Oh, man. It's funny to see how Nick is so like gung-ho over Charlie Kirk now when he couldn't stand Charlie Kirk. Candace worked with the man for years before she moved on to the Daily Wire. It's just funny now to see him being the one that's protecting Charlie's image in his mind. Bro, what are you talking about, bro? It's so ironic, bro, to see this guy act like this, bro. This is the worst I've ever seen Nick, bro. These clips is the worst I've seen this guy, bro. Because he's really, I think he should leave Candace alone, personally. I think Nick should leave Candace alone. Tell me what y'all think. I think he should leave her alone and just not discuss her like that. I don't think it's good for him. I don't think he can win this battle. And I noticed on her show today, because I did watch a little bit of it, I don't think she addressed anything that he had to say about her, which I think is a good idea for her too. So, all right, here we go.
And this, the right wing can never, ever forgive Candace Owens or Tucker Carlson for. They can never forgive them for what I'm about to say. Whatever you think about what happened on September 10th, whoever you think did it, it doesn't matter on some level. Whether he was shot or blown up, who pulled the trigger, or who was in Tyler Robinson's ear that made him pull the trigger, all of that exists independently from one very inconvenient fact, well documented.
But see, here's the thing about Nick, though. Here's the thing about Nick, which this is what I see today from Nick. I think if Ye called Nick and said, hey, get your ass over here, we're going to run for president, and shut up and do what I say, I think Nick could do it. I actually think that Nick wants Ye to be the president, like secretly run for president or be the leader, but he can't really tell his audience that too much. But I think that's where he's at. Because who else is there out there that would even come close to Nick's idea? That's why I'm giving Nick, I'm not gonna say I'm giving him a pass because I can't give anybody passes or not, but Nick hasn't condemned Ye yet. But yeah, it's good to hear what he has to say. Like I said, I think Nick should stick to stuff like politics only. Don't get into the culture, bro. You out of your lane in the culture. By your own admission, you're not really into the culture like that. You say you're an incel. So he should leave. Candace is more culture than politics. I know it seems like a blurry line, but Candace Owens is more culture than politics. And Nick is more politics than culture. He should stick to primaries, stick to presidential races, Stick to the Iran war. Stick to MAGA and Trump. Leave Candace alone, bro.
Thoroughly, which is that Charlie Kirk died that day, publicly, gruesomely. It was horrific. And people that didn't even like him cried that day, but not everybody. There were hundreds, thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands of left-wingers. Their first reaction, seeing a young man, 31 years old, with a wife and kids, publicly executed, his neck gushing with blood in front of hundreds of college students, their first reaction was to smile and laugh, and then to celebrate, and then film themselves celebrating, because that's how wicked they are. That's how much hatred the left has for us, all of us.
But what does that have to do with Candace Owens? I don't know how you trying to imply that she is empowering people like that. What are you talking about, bro? I'm gonna let you keep going, Nick, but I don't see how that's even anywhere near connected, bro. I don't understand that. And then, like I said, it does seem like Charlie Kirk, and I'm not comparing them as far as levels of influence, but kind of am a little bit. It's like he's the George Floyd for the white people. Because I've seen white people make jokes about George Floyd's death. So, I mean, it's the same monster we dealing with, guys. The same monster on the right is the monster on the left. It's the same middleman.
That's who Charlie Kirk was. He represents all of us. I didn't like him. He didn't like me. I didn't agree with him. He didn't agree with me. He thought I should have been censored. But the left hates Charlie Kirk because he says the things that we all basically believe, because he defended Christianity, because he defended white people, because he defended America. He defended tradition. He defended conservatism. He defended free markets and the right to own the product of our labor. In the broad strokes, we're all pretty much in alignment with Charlie Kirk. And because he was the face promoting those values, that's how much hatred they harbor for him. And we live with these people. These people are our neighbors. They work with us. They go to school with our kids. They're your elderly parents' nurses. They're your children's teachers. Their first reaction to seeing an innocent man shot in the neck, blood gushing from his neck in front of kids who came and brought the shirt and the hat just to see him and see him defend Christianity in America, their gut reaction, instinctual reaction, was glee. They were happy, they smiled, they laughed. And those people are the sole beneficiaries of the conspiracy. That's all you need to know. The hatred that killed Charlie Kirk, the people that hated him, that celebrated his murder, that said his wife should have gotten it, those people are the sole beneficiaries of his death.
Am I missing something? How? I'm trying to understand how Candace is causing them to hate or be happy about. I don't understand. I want to hear. He's still not getting there. Now, I did hear about and see some of the people making posts about Charlie Kirk when he got, some of the blue hair people was happy about that. But I'm trying to understand how that's Candace. How Candace is helping to empower those type of ideas. I don't understand it.
Death of the conspiracy that has discredited his organization, the conspiracy that divided the right, that got them off.
I thought he was shot accordingly in the front. Listen, I wasn't a big Charlie Kirk guy. I never even seen the video. I don't want to watch somebody die. I don't. Oh, somebody even if a basketball player break his leg on the court, and they say, "Did you see him break his?" I don't go back and watch it. I don't like to traumatize myself like that. So I've never actually watched. Well, I might have seen it in the past, but I've never really examined Charlie Kirk's assassination. Watch it and freeze it and frame it, and it's just not my style.
The hook. Those smiles should have been turned into frowns very quickly by the Trump government. What else is the Trump government there to do? Why else do we have it? Why else were we a part of this movement other than that? Where there were smiles and grinning and laughing, there should have been crying and the gnashing of teeth from those wicked people. The government should have absolutely crushed those people, deservedly so, because it's happening all the time. And we see it in our society. It's when the healthcare CEO got shot, and famous people were celebrating. A father and a husband get murdered by a coward, shooting him in the back of the head because they said, well, healthcare's too expensive. So we're murderers now? So we support murder? That's okay now? An innocent man with a wife and kids, and not like that matters. He'd be innocent if he didn't have that. But innocent man standing outside his hotel, shot in the back of the head by a coward. People celebrate because, healthcare is too expensive. Charlie Kirk shot in the neck, blood gushing, people smiling and celebrating. Why? Because he voted for Trump? Because he supports Trump? Because he wants a meritocracy instead of equity?
See, one thing Nick done, it's an American influence, bro. Our influence is of Edom. Okay, the wizards are the influencers right now. The right does the same thing, bro. Now, I'm not one of these big, free Palestine people. Like, I don't really, I don't want no wars, period, right? But there's people on the right that cheer for that shit. What's the difference? It's no difference, bro. And Nick needs to get out of this right left. He has to get out of that mindset by now, bro. You still think this is a right left thing? The right is fucked. What you call the right is fucked. And what you call the left is fucked. There's only one way, bro. It's God, bro. It's God level thinking, bro. That's it. I don't have time to be trying to carve people up into individual groups, left, right, this, that, and the other. That's why I'm not into this whole thing when they say not all Jewish people. Not all black people. I don't like that shit. Not all white. All of them. All of them. I'm a all type of mug. I'm a all Jewish people type of channel. I'm a all black people type of channel. I'm a all white people, all Indians, all Somalians, all of them. I'm a all. And it's one way, bro. God, bro. That's it. So the people on the right cheering for death too, bro. You cheered on the whole Venezuelan thing. You didn't have a problem with that. So it's the same thing, bro.
Those people should have been annihilated. They should have been prevented from ever holding power again. That's what should have happened. And there's an alternate time.
On a Mormon Sunday. You're right. On a Mormon Sunday. That wasn't just a regular old Baptist Sunday. It wasn't a Presbyterian Sunday. They paved that shit over on a Mormon Sunday. So they was trying to hide something, allegedly.
Line, by the way, where Candace Owens doesn't exist and Tucker Carlson doesn't exist. And a week after Charlie Kirk is assassinated, we round up Antifa, we round up the DSA, we round up the far left agitators and activists and foot soldiers and donors, and we make it so that they are never able to hold power over us ever again. There's an alternate timeline where that happens. And by the way, there's a ripple effect. Think about the timeline. Charlie Kirk killed on September 10th. A few months later, we discover the fraud in Somalia, about the $8 billion these Somalis are stealing from us. We uncover the extent of this. We send Customs and Border Patrol and ICE into the city to clean it up. Who shut it down? When ICE...
Okay, I'm going to get out of here because I'm going to do another video, go live on another stream here in a minute. But I want to talk about this whole thing. See, what Nick failed to realize, bro, why do you think the Somalians are over here and have Minnesota like that? Why do you think they have Minneapolis, St. Paul? Why do you think that they were given that plot of land? Why do you think it's like that? Why do you think all the Indians here, the Indians pretty much own Texas, it seems like. They got a big 200-foot, 90-foot statue or something like that down there near Houston of one of those weird gods. Why do you think the Chinese are over here like that getting money? Why do you think that is? It's because they know there's a secret here in America. It's bribery, basically. It's a game. America was never, the United States of America was never what you were taught it was. It's always been an economic zone. It's always been a golden calf for these people. I played a video a few lives back, and there was this whole, y'all may have seen it. If you watch this channel, you're probably hip to some of these type of things, where there's a quote they say from a guy named Mr. Hitler in Germany, where he was saying that, America is basically being held hostage because the Jews are not the real Jews and the real Jews are black. So America would do everything in its power to keep that secret. Some of y'all have heard that quote before, and they say it's a conspiracy, just like everything is a conspiracy, right? Everything's a hoax, right? But I think that appears to be accurate, because what it seems like, China will call up and say, hey, listen, I want to own 1,000 hectare acres, tetra acres, 1,000,000 acres somewhere, throughout America, however many acres. And if you don't give it to us, we're going to tell. The Indian president called, hey, I need to get some of my people over there into Austin, Texas. We want all the gas stations. All the gas stations? Yeah, all of them. If not, we're going to tell. That's basically what's happening. And I'm telling y'all, the Somalians, my brother, we need this, that, and the third. No, y'all can't have LA. We'll give you Minnesota. Minnesota's cold. Okay, we'll give you Minnesota, 2 cities in Minnesota, and a congressman. Okay, cool. That's how they keep the secret. Everybody's being bribed. America is being bribed to keep a secret. The truth is stranger than fiction. This is more Game of Thrones than Patriot Games. This is more Game of Thrones or, some Harry Potter. It's more Harry Potter going on than some Tom Clancy novel. Whatever the hell that guy's name is. It's deeper. It's a spiritual battle, bro. There's bloodlines being hidden. There's deep secrets, spiritual secrets, a war against God himself going on here. There is no political solution. That's why Candace Owens will ultimately have more influence on the culture, immediate impact on culture than Nick Fuentes will. The solution is culture and truth, not politics. Not politics. And I'll give you a prime example of why I say that, and then I'm going to get out of here and get ready for my next one. Let's look at the topic of abortion. We have an abortion culture, not an abortion law. It's not the law. It's the culture that creates abortion. The U.S. government can pass a law tomorrow that says, you know what? You can have an abortion up until the baby's 1 year old out the womb. They can make a law that drastic where you can kill your baby up until it's a year old. But if the culture doesn't want to do that, if the people say we're not doing that, that's not our culture, then you can have that law and there won't be no abortions. It's not the law. It's not the politics. It's the culture. Murder's been illegal since damn Cain killed Abel. Murder's been illegal since then. People still killing, murdering. Because it's the culture. That's what's going to change it. A God culture, a truth culture, Christ consciousness. That's the way. And it's coming. It's coming. It's here. Many of us can feel it. I feel it. This lifetime, we win this lifetime. No nukes can solve it. No F-35s are going to solve this problem. No tariffs can fix this. It's a cultural, spiritual God plan, period. So I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to go live in about another maybe 20 minutes from now. Take a quick break and I'll go back on. I'm going to review Ye's new video. Try to play some of that. So make sure that if you're not subscribe. Moses, I don't know if you're going to be able to get on that, but I'm going to jump on that here in a minute. That's already scheduled on my channel, so make sure you go check that out. We're gonna have fun with that. Try to not get copyrighted. But hey, for all those that did join, man, I appreciate y'all. I appreciate the feedback through the chats. You know, definitely do. And like I always say, I love y'all, and I'll see you next time. I'm out.